just does really, really well in heavy cover. You know, anytime that you've got wood, you've got laydowns, you've got stumps, rocks, and it'll do just fine coming down a clean bank. But, you know, if you've got heavy cover, that's where this bait is going to excel over those other baits in the OG line. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pick 2 More for this month in June. And it is not June when we're filming this, that's why I'm still wearing a sweatshirt. Probably a much too hot for June by the time you all will be watching this. But hey, you got to get it, you got to make hay when the sun shines. You got to film these videos when you got a minute, so that's what we're doing. But a couple baits that I wanted to add, added to or pick 4 from last year for this month. One of them for shallow water application, one of them for deep water application, and I kind of like doing that. You know, give you all some options and kind of some different, you know, different things to think about when you're out there fishing, and you know, something that hopefully will apply to anybody all across the country, you know, for this month. So, I guess we'll start on the shallow end of the spectrum for this month, and that bait that I picked is that newest one in the OG line. And that's Rocco. That's the first square bill crankbait we've done in the OG line of baits. Won't be the last, but it is the first one. And, you know, it's kind of that standard size square bill crankbait is what I would call it. Of course, it is balsa wood construction, just like the rest of the OGs. And this bait will run about 15, it ain't gonna run 15. This bait will run about 5 feet deep on 14-pound fluorocarbon line is about how deep that thing will run. And just does really, really well in heavy cover. You know, anytime that you've got wood, you've got laydowns, you've got stumps, rocks, and it'll do just fine coming down a clean bank. But, you know, if you've got heavy cover, that's where this bait is going to excel over those other baits in the OG line. But the other thing is, too, this is June, and so I'm thinking warmer water, and that harder thump that Rocco has definitely is going to get the nod for me most of the time in that warmer water that we're going to be dealing with. You know, once we get to really starting sometime in April, is probably when I'm going to start thinking about Rocco. Once that water gets up into the 60s, it's going to really come to play for me. But certainly as we enter into the early part of the summer, that harder thump of Rocco is going to be a key one for me. And on the technique of the month, for this month, I'll kind of go into, you know, really where I'm looking to fish that bait in some of the key places. But something for me that, number one, just to think of, a lot of the shallow fish that I'm going to catch this time of the year are going to be current related. You know, so check out that technique of the month video here later this week on you know, just exactly the kind of places where I'm going to be fishing both of these baits at. Next up is a swim bait, and this one is definitely on the smaller end of the spectrum of what I will be using in the summertime. This is a Bass Pro 3.8 Speed Shad. A lot of times that 4.8 is really what's going to get the nod for me in June. That's going to be, you know, something a little bit bigger, a little bit beefier is what I like to fish. And this is opposite for me with Rocco this time of the year. This is definitely something I'm going to be fishing a little bit deeper. You can fish this shallow, you absolutely can, but I'm certainly thinking about throwing this out, you know, in deep water, you know, using at least a ½ ounce head on that. And again, like I said, that 3/8 is going to be the smallest I use. I would use all the way up to the 5-inch in that Bass Pro Speed Shad, but a bigger bait, heavy, something I can get down there on the bottom in 12 to 25, maybe even 30 feet of water if the fish are that deep out there on your body of water in June. But, you know, that 12 to 20 range seems to be kind of a sweet spot for most places across the country. And then just a bait fish color in that swim bait is what I want to be using, something that, you know, imitates a threadfin or gizzard shad. Once those fish have spawned, you know, after the bass have spawned, the shad spawn, those shad also tend to migrate out a little bit deeper, I think, to take advantage of that cooler water, you know, out there then. And that's certainly where the bass go to follow them a lot of occasions. They either go to current, which is where you're going to use Rocco, or they go out deep, which is where you want to use that swim bait. So that's kind of a 1-2 punch, depending on the body of water you're at. Maybe both of them even in the same day. I know I have personally done that around here where I live. Catch them on a swim bait and part of the lake, out really deep, and go, you know, way up the lake, fish shallow, fish current, and catch them on a square bill crankbait the rest of the day. So But yeah, the Bass Pro Speed Shad 3.8, 4.8 inch, rigged up on a BMC boxer head. Can definitely get it done for you as well. So hopefully those pick 2 more will be something that'll help you all out there on the water this month.